Hello and welcome to the channel. It's the Eradicator, and in this video, well, we have a couple of things to talk about. First, the roadmap was updated as it is every 2 weeks in, well, I think that we cannot have a winner every time, right? So this one is just tiny, there's nothing in the progress tracker, and in the release view we've got the addition of the Grey Cat PTV racetrack, which is not really a surprise. We've seen that in the past episode of Inside Star Citizen, so there it is. And well, it looks like it's scheduled for Star Citizen Alpha 3.18. I cannot wait to be racing a PTV. Love the PTV, it's my favorite ground vehicle, so we'll definitely be checking it out as soon as we can. But the big news is that finally 3.17.2 is again updated here, and we have a patch note. Oh my goodness, my alarm is ringing, sorry about this. And we have a patch note here, and well, quite a lot of fixes here. That is the long PTU cycle that they've been having for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I made a couple of videos about, you know, why it's taking so long perhaps, and some explanations, right? So finally we have it here. It's coming with 8 client crashes, 9 server crashes, 2 server deadlocks. They fixed a backend server's crash that was causing Alpha UEC wallets to reset to 0. I have been lucky, I haven't had this issue, but I know that a lot of people have been annoyed by this, and many backend super PC cache improvements to make it more robust as well. Very important here, as we talked about in the last video when it comes to the minimal viable product. It's very important for Cloud Imperial Games to make sure that their backend services are as robust as possible, so that by the time we get to beta and eventually 1.0, they don't need to reset their servers because of some backend issues. So very important work here done for 3.17.2. But you may ask, what is this 3.17.2 fixing in terms of gameplay? We've got an interesting list here of fixes. First, the elevators. Multiple errors here were fixed regarding elevators that would break or not even function. Party launching should now work more consistently. Also, they fixed an issue causing player medical beacons to not complete when the player is brought back from incapacitation. Now, that is one of the reasons why I have never done any medical gameplay in Star Citizen, because I want to get paid, you know, I'm not a good Samaritan in the game. But if this is fixed, this is also something I might eventually give it a try. Also, they fixed an issue causing underground facility missions, so the bunkers, right, the AI to go missing and block missions from completing. Now that's an issue. It doesn't mean that it's all the issues. It could very well happen again, and we can find more issues perhaps, so time will tell. They fixed a bug with a search and destroy mission where the probes destroyed counter reports wrong, and if you destroy the probes before the mission says you located them. So yeah, that's one of the few space missions that were left, because I noticed that they gradually removed some space combat missions more and more, and that's one of the few that's left, and even that there was a bug over there that's quite annoying, right? Ships should no longer get stored at pleasure upon completion of prison sentence. Thank you very much. It's very annoying to have to claim your ship, especially, for example, if you surrender, right? It would be nice to have your ship at Everest Harbor instead. They fixed a cargo hold area of space derelict requirements that allow players to clip and see through the hull. The Hull A, Empyrean, Horizon, and Dustpan should no longer be missing. The rear of the Drake Mule should no longer start to float if the vehicle navigates or oversteers steep incline and hills. NPCs on dropships should no longer be completely unresponsive for an extended period. That was one of the main critics of 3.70.2, right? The NPCs were just doing nothing for a certain period of time in the Cutlass Black that were dropping them, but it should be fixed. They fixed an issue causing players to have infinite loading screen after recovering from a client crash while in ship or vehicle. The player list in Comlink app should no longer reset scroll position to the top when the player list update. That is very annoying, you know, when you're looking for somebody in the list and the list updates and it goes back to the top again when there are 100 people in the server. Oh man, the frustration, right? They also fixed an issue that was causing combat assistant beacons to pay much more than intended, but I would like to have more combat assistant service beacons in the game, because they're so rare these days, I just can't find them anymore. So I hope that by the time I'm streaming, because I'll be streaming this update here as soon as I finish taking my daughter to school, So we'll be checking it out, right? Also, players should no longer be arrested when using the Horizon Spaceport docking port elevators. Sending Alpha UEC to players not in the sender's instance will no longer call the UEC to disappear into the void. Renting ships should no longer give a transaction error. The go-to mission objective part of the unauthorized surveillance detected mission should no longer fail after the player has already completed the mission contract. And the Aegis Gladius Foundation skin should no longer obscure the cockpit's view, which is very annoying, obviously, when you are flying a ship and you cannot see because of the paint, right? Now, a couple of feature updates here, and this one I'm not happy about. They've lowered the frequency of low-threat missions, and they increased the frequency of moderate, high, and critical threat missions. That's great for those higher-tier missions. The problem is that it is so hard to grind a reputation for low-threat mission. I have done dozens of them, and I still have a third of the way to go. If they reduce the frequency, that means I will have less chances of taking these missions and less chances of having the higher or any type of more difficult combat missions. And I really want those more difficult combat assistance beacons because the low threat are so boring. So please, CIG, give us more low threat missions instead of not enough, because it's so hard to complete the grind. Next, they changed the max button on kiosks to 10, so no more 100, right? You're gonna have to buy them 10 by 10 if you want to buy a lot of items, and the friends list should now be sorted alphabetically. And also they reduced the hit points of multiple parts of the SPR blade, so they basically nerfed it. But we still have a couple of issues here. If you have somehow a Saber Raven, well, there should be some flickering lights on the screen. Players may have to restart the game after being kicked to the main menu from a 30k error. That's an old one. Targeting a ship's targeted peak may be missing or disappearing, so that's very annoying. So what I do, I have a workaround for this bug. Because it has happened to me several times. I just quantum travel away from the area. I go to an orbital marker and then I go back to where I was, and for some reason it does the trick and I can target after that. Ships floating in the hangar when started with the engine left on. What is that again? So the ships are floating in the hangar when, for example, when you leave them with the engines on and you come back, the ships are floating in the hangar. That's what's happening here. The player character arm will misalign when seated in ships, causing obstruction of a heads-up display of view. Yes, I have seen that. It's very funny. It's like the arm is like giving a fist in the air, you know? It's so funny when this happens. The Kratua spawns on the hangar floor sideways. Yeah, I've seen that. It's no big deal. Weapon fire penetrates shields when the ships are moving, so that is a shield hole here they're talking about. While docked to a starfarer, multiple vehicles will continuously tilt instead of remaining stationary. The Argo Raft's elevator controls cannot be interacted from either deck. Headlights on the ARS are too dim to notice at a reasonable range. All weapons are held like a pistol while moving in EVA. Missions are sometimes missing NPC spawns to complete missions. Yeah, I've noticed, by the way, that all the weapons in EVA are very weird, because I've had this combat in EVA where I was trying to stop someone from hacking a comm array, and the way the gun was being held was so weird, and well, so sad it's not being fixed here. Underground facility missions sometimes are missing NPCs. Yeah, so that's what we talked about, right? They fixed an issue that was fixing the issue, but that was fixing the problem, but the problem is still remaining. It's just one issue that they fixed, but some more are remaining. Weapon holsters and unholsters intentionally, that's very annoying. CIG, please fix that, because for FPS combat, this can mean life or death. Utility items may disappear between sessions. Weapons looted directly equipped from containers are missing attachments. Ships on landing pads end up in unknown states for a location and have to be reclaimed. Not always. I've noticed that if you leave the ASOP terminal and go back to the ASOP terminal, sometimes it just works. So there might be a workaround for this one here. Next, turrets around bunkers respawn very quickly and sometimes instantaneously, so workaround here. Do the walk of shame and park about 1.5 kilometers away from the bunker if you want to be sure so that you are out of range. and the rest stops here stations are variably offset from the Lagrange points they are housed with. Sometimes, yeah, I noticed that we were talking about 20-30,000 kilometers. Well, it's no big deal. It's fine for me, but maybe that's not really what they want to be doing with the game here. Anyway, guys, that's it for the roadmap update and 3.17.2, the brand new hotfix, which is actually a pretty big one here. We could almost call it a 3.17.3, right? Perhaps. Anyway, that is all for this video. I hope that from now on, CIG are going to be focusing on 3.18. It would be nice, right? We are hopefully going to get an update tomorrow in Inside Star Citizen. We know that we're gonna have, according to Xylo, we're gonna have the PTU circle by the end of the month of September, starting with Evocatis. So yeah, as I said in the video a couple of weeks ago, probably I think that 3.18 will be released for the Expo, but that is a wild guess here, with a very minor 3.19 patch just before Christmas. Anyway, that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I wish you all a wonderful day. It's been the Eradicator. A big shout out to Dr. Forbin, Captain Snake, Geek Citizen, Eric, On, and the DJ. And I will see you guys later.